Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We are on the gun review bench again today. We have got one that I've been wanting to do for a little bit as well. This is one that is going to be what I hope to be one of my more popular videos. But this is something that I love the idea of the SPR, and I wanted to know what is the absolute cheapest I could build an SPR for and see how it performs. So this is going to be the world's cheapest SPR build. And by build, I just mean putting an upper on a lower. So with that said, I want to kind of go over what I've got for this rifle, and then we're going to take it back to the range and just see how it does. So I started off with, this is one of Palmetto's just blim lowers. This is just their standard AR-15 lower. It does have the MOE furniture on it, and they had these on sale for like $119 and free shipping, I believe. So when I snagged this, I was like, yeah, that's definitely something we're going to have to do this build with, because you can't turn it down with, I mean, the stock and the grip, you know, you're looking at what, $45, maybe $50 for both of those items. So you take that off the price, you've basically gotten the lower for like 65 bucks or so, something around there. But too cheap to turn down. This is one of their stealth lowers, so it doesn't have any logos or anything on it, which is fine by me. It looks cool. Standard fire control group, you know, nothing fancy as far as that goes, just complete mil spec trigger, so on and so forth. And then for the upper, I found one of the Bear Creek. Now this is one of their side charging. This is an 18-inch. It is a heavy profile barrel. This thing is a chunk, I'm not gonna lie. It's a 1-in-8 twist, Parkerized finish, 4150 chromoly vanadium steel. It is in 223 Wild, does have M4 feed ramps, and it does have a mid-length gas system. So this thing should shoot very, very smoothly. It is one of these side chargers. I don't think I've used one of their AR-15s in a side charger yet, so that will be new for me. I don't really see anything wrong with it. It's definitely not my cup of tea. It's not what I would get first off, but it is what it is. They had these on sale for like $219, I think it was. So for this, a complete upper, so barrel, bolt carrier group, of course you don't have a charging handle because it's a side charger, but flash hider, the whole 9-yard gas system, yada, 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 and your complete lower with Magpul furniture. So this was $220, let's say. This was $120. So you're looking at what, $340 for a usable rifle. Now that's minus optics and accessories, I know, but still, all in with just those two parts or those two items, less than $350. That just blows my mind. If you're not buying AR-15 parts and items right now, I think you're really missing the bill. Now is the time to buy. Now this does have their free float M-LOK handguard. I will say this is really the one thing that I don't like about BCA. I don't like their handguards. I just don't like the way they look. That's just me. Complete personal preference, I know, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. I just don't really like the way they look. But nonetheless, I think it does have the ability to shoot well. The 1-in-8 twist does lend itself to being able to shoot a lot of different grain weight of projectiles accurately, so we'll see how that does. The receiver is a billet upper receiver, so we'll get to see how that looks. I cannot pin them together on camera per YouTube policy, but we'll get to see the completed thing when we get it back to the bench. But got just a bipod, a M-LOK adapter for the bipod. I'm going to run the Nightstar 1 to 10 in an arrow mount. Now this does not take into consideration the overall price of the upper and the lower, but we got to have some sort of optic on it. This right here, I think was around $200 for these when this got sent to the channel. So still, with that said, you're well under $600. So we'll see what happens. I do really like the reticle in this, so I think it should do well. And this is a 1 to 10. But let me get this thing pinned together. We'll get it back on the bench, and let's put some lead down range and see how this thing performs, guys. All right, guys, so we made it back here to the bench. It definitely wouldn't be a Hyde rifle review if we didn't put some rounds on paper at 110 yards. So just to kind of give us a baseline idea of precision that this, you know, I will call budget 18-inch upper will give us. So we're going to try 4 different loads I just pulled out of the cabinet. So I got some Federal Gold Medal match. This is the 73 grain Burger, some IMI Razor Core 77 grain, some Fiocchi 55 grain Polytip, and then just some regular old run-of-the-mill SS109, some 62 grain stuff. So we should be able to hopefully post up some groups. We've got our 1 to 10 optic sighted in. I've put 15 rounds through it, sighting it in. Now, the only thing I have done to this out of the box as far as the upper goes, I did lube the bolt and I did run a patch down the barrel. So other than that, it's completely out of the box. But we'll wait in between each group and let the barrel cool as usual. So we'll see how we did after the fact, and then we'll probably get some offhand shooting and kind of finish up with some final thoughts after that, guys. So without further ado, I'll stop yapping and start shooting. So again, this upper, 219 bucks. I mean, just ridiculously cheap. So I mean, you got to kind of take it into context with what you're getting here, but for my purpose, hopefully it will do the job. So again, here we go. First shots on camera with the world's cheapest SPR project. So here we go. You guys can follow along in the shot cam. Again, I am shooting this at 10 power. So first up. Well, didn't have the magazine seated all the way. That was my fault. All right, let's try that again here. Like we had a little bit of lateral stringing on that group, but overall doesn't look too terrible. So let me let this thing cool down for a couple of minutes, and then we'll shoot 5 of our 77 grain hollow point boat tail match razor core. All right, guys, so we got our 5 rounds of 77 grain razor core here loaded in the mag, and this is a 1 1/8 twist, as we talked about on the bench, so it should stabilize a wide range of projectile weights. And like I've said before on the channel, guys, every rifle is going to be different. You just have to experiment with it and see what it likes. So next one up, 77 grainers. Doesn't look too bad at all. So let's let this thing cool for a few more minutes, and then we'll try some of the 55 grain Fiocchi. This is the poly tip. This stuff is cooking 32-40 feet per second, so we'll see how it does, guys. All right, guys, we got our 5 Fiocchi loaded up here, 55 grain poly tip. Let's put these on paper and see how they do. So far so good with the reliability. Granted, this isn't a lot of ammo, but usually if it's going to run in the first 100 rounds or so, after the fact should be pretty good too. So fingers crossed, let's see how these do. So I will say, guys, this is probably one of the worst mil-spec triggers that I have ever felt in my life. I did pull it for weight off camera, and it was right at about 6 pounds, but it has got some serious grit in it. Now, granted, this is one of the Palmetto blim lowers. I mean, they're pretty cheap right out of the box. So, I mean, you can't expect match quality out of the trigger, but This one is definitely pretty rough. It's definitely going to be a candidate for a trigger upgrade, I got a feeling. But we'll let it cool, and then we'll finish off with some SS109. Okay guys, we got our SS109 loaded up here, 62 grain FMJ. And if you see this box, if you guys remember back to the glory days of when Walmart sold 5.56 still, man, I bought a bunch of this stuff from them, or from there whenever they had it. Of course, they don't sell it now, but these were 30 round boxes, and I want to say that they were like $13 or something like that. They were ridiculously cheap. This is that ZQI stuff, so time's gone by, I know. All right, last shots here, 110 yards. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna run down, I'm gonna grab our target. We'll take a look and kind of see how we did up close, guys. All right, guys, so ran down, snagged our target. Let's take a look and see how we did here. So first one up is going to be from the Federal Gold Medal match, the 73 grain burger. And that is what we ended up with there. Those 4 shots, not too bad. That one there got away from me a little bit. Next one up is going to be the IMI 77 grain razor core. So that's not too bad, about 2.5 inches, I guess. Next one up down here on the bottom left is going to be the Fiocchi. This is that 55 grain poly tip. So we got a pretty decent little cluster there, not terrible. And then finally that ZQI, that SS109, so some 62 grain FMJ. Oh, there's the 5th shot. So that one, not so great on that. So basically what I'm looking at here is that I think honestly the trigger was getting me a little bit, but overall I'm actually pretty happy with that. I mean, I don't think this meets their MOA or better guarantee that they like to talk about, but you know, honestly I've very seldom ever seen that. I mean, yeah, maybe once if you shoot 20 groups you might get one that's like that. And if you read real close in a lot of places, like fine print, it just says that it can do it. It's not that it's going to do it every single time. But for practical accuracy, that does look pretty good. So I do want to finish off the video. Let's load up a mag or so, and let's get behind the barricade, and let's just check some practical accuracy for this type of a setup, and then we'll get some final thoughts, guys. All right, guys, so I loaded up the rest of the plinking ammo I had in the range bag back here at the hide in this magazine, so we're just going to take some offhand and barricade shots, finish this review up. But right now I'm at about, probably about 180 yards from the last backstop, and about 75-ish yards from the front one. So just going to shoot some shots here, and we'll just kind of get some final thoughts and just some overall impressions of this rifle and just see how it does, guys. So we'll move out to not too bad. I mean, all right, so that was just some shots at about 75-ish and then 185. Overall, I do like the package. The thing that I think I'm getting a little bit hung up on probably is the overall weight. So as configured, even with just a 1-to-10 optic, this thing is 9 pounds and almost 14 ounces. So it's almost a 10-pound gun. At that point, at that weight range, I'm thinking, you know, 308. So, you know, for all intents and purposes, I mean, is this type of a setup really going to gain you anything over just a standard carbine setup, maybe with a 1-to-10 optic on that, sort of like a recce rifle? I don't know, maybe not. The only benefit that I can truly see you getting is a little bit of extra velocity out of the 18-inch tube. Could that help you if you were stretching it out to 500-600 yards? Yeah, maybe. But guys, I think we really need to be honest with ourselves in the fact that, is that going to be a reality? Do you actually have somewhere to shoot that far out? I mean, I live in southern Indiana. My range here only goes out to 210. Do have a couple of buddies that I could go shoot with, could get out to 500-600 yards. But even then, guys, I've shot 16-inch guns out that far too, and been more than adequate and able to make hits out that range also. But I don't know. I do like the rifle. I think the side charger is definitely a little bit different. I don't know if I really like that or not. There's nothing really wrong with it. I guess it's just, you know, all in what you get used to, I suppose. I don't know as I would change it since it came with it. I just don't know if I'm going to keep the barrel as configured. That big old heavy tube. Now, granted, from what I've seen, you know, offhand to shooting, I mean, accuracy seems to be acceptable. I would call it acceptable. But is it, you know, just out of this world? Not really. But, you know, again, what did we pay for it? So, what do you guys think? So, the world's cheapest SPR project. I'm not going to call it a success, and I'm definitely not going to call it a failure. I'm going to leave this one up to you guys. So, what do you all think? Hit the thing there. But so far, I kind of like it. Definitely going to keep it around. I think this might be a candidate for one of the Schmid 2-stage triggers. I think that would definitely help. But let me know down in the comments what you think. Do you think it's a good setup or not? I'm going to leave that up to you guys. But please like, share, and subscribe, guys. It really does help the channel. As always, shoot straight. Later.